Hello everyone out there, how are you all doing? I'm Kate Hill, bringing you the best, unbiased and honest content on property, along with some fantastic hints and tips. Stay tuned today for all your latest property news. As a property investor, it always makes sense to set your sights on locations with the most capital growth potential. And as we all know, not all capital city markets in Australia move through the same cycles at the same time, meaning that there are times when some markets offer more potential than others. The latest PropTrack property market outlook from the REA Group anticipates property price growth of around 2 to 5% nationally by the end of 23. However, it is unlikely that these gains will be shared evenly. Several state capitals are forecast to see property values drop by the end of 23, as shown in the table. When it comes to the highest growth, though, Perth is the front runner for PropTrack's forecast, with the capital gains of up to 7% anticipated by the end of 2023. While PropTrack anticipates a number of markets will enter negative territory in 24, Perth is not among them, with expected growth of up to 3% next year. More than 54,000 millennials have made the move to regional Australia, according to the Regional Australia Institute. The data shows about 37,000 millennials, which is those people born between 1982 and 1996, left the regions between 2011 and 16, but more than 57,000 moved into those areas in the past 5 years. The Institute chief executive says people are returning to the regions in large numbers, and it isn't just a pandemic-led change. You can't understate what he describes as a societal transformation. Victoria dominates the shift, having 9 in the top 20 millennial relocation hotspots, including areas like the Surf Coast, Moorabool, the Mitchell Shire, Bass Coast, the Macedon Ranges. Although the biggest area for millennials to move to was Bridgetown Greenbushes in Western Australia. In New South Wales, the leading areas for millennials to relocate to were Yass Valley and Maitland, while in Tasmania it was Sorrel, Clarence and Glamorgan. The Real Estate Institute of New South Wales recently issued a challenge to the New South Wales government. Based on the reforms that the Minister for Better Regulation and Fair Trading is championing, the plan to drive investment into the residential rental market in order to solve the rental crisis is clear. It begins with taxing an investor in the form of stamp duty for the privilege of making a property available for rent, before telling them what they can and can't do with the property that they've purchased, forcing landlords to allow their tenants to keep pets, irrespective of how unsuitable the property might be, forcing landlords to wear the cost of repairs for the destruction that those pets cause, forcing landlords to go to court to prove the reason that they want to recover possession of their property and that it's genuine, allowing landlords to adjust the rent once a year, though the repayments that they must make on their loan for their property may be adjusted multiple times. The list just goes on. On behalf of the industry, landlords and tenants across the state, the Real Estate Institute of New South Wales wants to know how this plan is going to address declining growth in the number of properties available for rent. It's especially poignant given that the number of people looking for a home to rent is increasing substantially. With natural population growth compounded by interstate and international migration, each month there are thousands of additional people coming to New South Wales and elsewhere, of course, looking for a home to rent. Yet, an analysis of the number of bonds held by the Rental Bonds Board in New South Wales shows clearly that number of properties rented in the state is stagnant, which leaves government to answer the most basic human question: where will people coming into our state live? After all, the provision of social and affordable housing is the job of government, not private investors. Now, the majority of Australian renters do so from private landlords at around 26 to 30%, with only 3% renting via state and territory authorities. If the number of homeowners is declining among younger Australians and lower income brackets, which makes sense given the high property prices versus many other countries, it makes sense that there is a bottleneck of renters unable to leap onto the property ladder and become owners. It's worth remembering, though, that while a small group of Australians will always be socially disenfranchised and in need of social housing, many are forced to rent because they can't afford to buy a house. There are also a large group of renters who rent a property out of choice. Not everybody wants to own where they live. Some might have recently moved to a new state, others to a new location because of their jobs. Others may have just got married or divorced. And then there are those who are renovating their home, buying a home, or have decided to use rent vesting as a strategy, which is where they rent where they want to live because they can't afford or don't want to buy where they live. And if the government wants the help of private investors to assist in providing rental accommodation, it might reconsider its efforts to marginalise and punish those very people whose help that they want and need. I'm going to keep you posted on all things property from around Australia as our year progresses. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button if you are enjoying all of my free content, and I will see you all again really soon. Bye.